Hey guys, sorry, I am sick again. I don't know how or why, but it seems that I'm getting a cold in my throat again. So if I have to stop every once in a while to take a drink, I'm sorry. It's just my throat's killing me. So, today is cycle day 13 of cycle 9, I believe. Don't quote me on that which cycle I'm on. I really haven't been keeping track that well. But it is cycle day 13. I have been charting my BBT. However, I did not know that you're supposed to do it the same time every day. I thought that you just did it whenever you woke up, as soon as you woke up. So it's a little, it's not, sorry, my brain, it's not completely accurate, just for the simple fact that a few days I was waking up towards noon from the medicine that I would take at night to help me sleep, and then sometimes I'd be waking up at like 7, and then now I'm getting on a schedule, 5 o'clock every morning. Roger is waking me up, making sure I take my metformin, making sure I do my BBT, and whatever else has to be done first thing in the morning. So right now, even with the inaccurate readings, I'm going to call it that, I've been staying between 97.1 to 97.4. I've dropped down lower than that at one point. Sorry, my chart's over to the side. Which I dropped down to 96.6 on the 31st. Which that, I believe, was just because I was coming down from my my original cold, and my body was starting to get back in into working mode again. So really, there's not too much to talk about with this cycle yet. I'm nowhere near ovulation. I took a OPK 2 days ago, and it was extremely light, so I'm not even close to being in that range yet, which I already knew. I just wanted to kind of do a baseline, and probably once a week I will take an OPK to see if it is in fact getting darker or not, seeming I ovulate, or I don't ovulate normally, and my body will gear up multiple times. So this way I just cover all my bases. Sorry. What I did want to talk about today was infertility itself. This past week and a half or so, I've had people talking to me about me adopting, and a lot of what people have been saying are stupid things that you just shouldn't say to people when they announce they're adopting or anything like that. One of the biggest things being, don't you want to try for your own first? Now, this comment mainly came from most of the customers in my workplace last Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was last Wednesday. I was there, already not feeling good because I was sick, and I was talking to one of my coworkers, Gabby, who's a really great friend of mine, about the baby, and telling her that we don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, but we know the themes and everything, and she's getting excited about it with me. And then another coworker, Shahinda, asked if we were. She knows when we're getting married, but at the same time she has a bad memory with dates. So she's like, oh, are you getting married first? And of course I said, yeah, we're getting married February. She goes, oh yeah, that's right. And then I was like, the baby's due in May. Well, when I said this, a few older ladies decided that they needed to put their input into me adopting and me having kids. And now, obviously, I'm young. I know I'm young. A lot of people mistake me for 16. I've had someone mistake me for 12. On my 16th birthday, I got into the zoo for free because any kids 12 and under get in for free. So I know I look young. However, I do wear 2 rings on my left hand. So that should be a signal to most that I am married, even though I'm not technically yet. So they first commented about my age. Oh, you're so young. Why are you wanting to adopt? Oh, why are you wanting to have a baby? You have so much. And I kind of explained that, yes, I'm young. I've had a few miscarriages in my life, which kind of leaves you yearning, no matter how old you are, it kind of leaves you yearning for what's missing. And I kind of explained that I know I'm young. I've been told this million times. However, I have an old soul. I don't care so much for going out and exploring the world with just me and my husband, or just me. My favorite memories as a child were always the family outings that my dad took me on and that my mom took me on. My dad and me went on many adventures. One time we were on an island right outside of Georgia, and a storm hit, and me and him went exploring during a 50-mile-per-hour wind, and I almost got blown away and almost got kicked in the head by a wild horse. And it was just the most amazing thing in the world. It was so much fun. There was ruins there from an old mansion. There were grave sites there where you were trying to guess who they were, stuff like that. It was just really fun, and I always had this ideal in my head that this is how vacations are supposed to work. They're not supposed to be, oh, you go by yourself. That's okay if I was, if I was single at this moment. I would still want to go and have my adventures. I wouldn't wait to be married or have kids. However, I am with my better half. I am getting married. I don't see a reason to delay having kids just because I want to go have an adventure, when I can easily take my kids with me to have that adventure and make that adventure just that much more grand for me and make great memories for my kids, instead of just talking about these great adventures once my kids are here. So I explained all that to them, and I actually explained it longer-winded than what I just did, if you can imagine that. So they were like, okay, fine, you're married. As far as they knew, I'm married. But don't you want to try for a child of your own before you adopt? And I don't know if any of you girls who are struggling with infertility, or who have just been trying for any amount of time more than 2 months, sorry if that excludes anyone, but when people ask you why don't you try for your own, if you even bring up the mention of adopting, that's like a stake in the heart. I have been trying, and I try to gently let these women know who shouldn't really have anything to do with my life, shouldn't even care what happens in my life, because they'll never probably see me again. But I tried to let them know, I've been trying for over a year now, and I'm infertile. And then some other woman in the back heard me, and she had to put her 2 cents in, and she said I was lying about being infertile. She said no young woman is infertile, which that shocked me personally. I mean, I've known about my issues for years now, even before I was trying to conceive. I knew there would be issues trying. I didn't know exactly what, but I knew there were. Plenty of doctors had told me so. And I mean, I think I was 18 the first time that they told me that if I did get pregnant easily, I would have a hard time at even carrying through and have a higher chance of miscarriages, because my body isn't strong, because I have a bad back, which can play into it, and my body, can't really explain it. I'm sorry, one moment. Hot tea. It's great. Okay, so the fact that this woman who knows nothing about me, she was maybe early 40s, late 30s, decided that it was her control whether or not young women could or could not be infertile. So she was telling me I was lying. She was telling me I was just trying to get pity, and that I'm not really infertile, and that I probably hadn't been trying. None of which is true. I have been trying for, I think we're going on 14 months now. We've done everything from the every 2 days rule to, OPKs, and now we're doing BBTs, and trying little forever blessed pills, and laying down for a half hour afterwards, so that way it doesn't spill. Sorry, TMI. But I've tried so many things, and this woman just, oh, you haven't been trying. If you were really wanting to have a kid and you were really trying, you'd already be pregnant now. So then I had to once again explain to this woman and to this group of elder women that yes, I am considered medically infertile. I do not ovulate normally. I have PCOS. I had to explain, yes, I can get pregnant, and fertility does not mean you can't get pregnant, but it does mean that you will have a hard time. And they didn't, I don't know why, they just did not understand this, which and then since that day to today, I've had multiple people comment on me adopting, and me trying for a baby and being infertile. Yesterday, I was on a website called Gaia Online that I go on often. It's just a little place for nerds like me to go and conversate and have a little avatar that you can dress up and role play different stories and scenarios and things like that. I was on there and I started an RP about elemental royals, whatever. You don't need to know the details. And one of the girls who had joined, we were all talking, and I said, sorry, I'll have to be right back. I'm trying to reorganize my nursery. So, of course, piqued the interest of a few people. I didn't mean it for that way. I just was trying to explain why I was leaving. And this girl, which she's a nice girl, it's nothing against her, but she goes, oh, you have one too? And it's like, well, not yet. I'm adopting in May. And she goes, oh, well, I spawned one of my own. And the way it was worded, and that's literally how she worded it. She worded it, I spawned one of my own. And the way she worded it, the kind of just like, it just felt like I was being judged for adopting instead of having one of my own. And I understand that she probably did not mean it that way. She was probably just saying she had one naturally and didn't adopt, but that's just how it came off. And a lot of people, I'm realizing, don't understand the consequences of what they say when they talk to people who are suffering with infertility and things like that. So I backed away from the conversation a little bit. I didn't really talk to anyone but one of my best friends, Taylor, and her boyfriend, until I was brought back into the conversation by one of the guys who's in the RP. Started talking about the baby a little bit, and I got back into happier. But it's just like, I swear almost every day now, someone has had to say something, and it's I don't know why people have this misconception that just because I'm 22, I am just overreacting to not being able to get pregnant yet. I don't know why, even in my own family, now that I'm adopting, I've heard it multiple times, watch, you're going to turn out pregnant now. And I would love that. I mean, that's what I'm planning. I want to get pregnant on top of adopting. I mean, this isn't, oh, I'm adopting, I will never try for my own biological child. This is just starting our family a different way. But, like, they, in my family, I've noticed, I'm either the bad guy for adopting and, not trying, because, remember, not everyone in my family has known that I've been trying for over a year. But I'm the bad guy for not trying for my own first, which I have been. And I'm trying to explain that slowly. or just for adopting in general because of who I'm adopting from. I'm adopting from my sister, who's a single mother of 2, and she's having her 3rd child. She does not believe she can give this child as good of a life. She's struggling as is. She's bipolar. She's barely hanging on and keeping her 2 children, my niece and nephew, above water, but drowning herself, it seems. She just can't. She doesn't feel like she can do it. And it's not that she doesn't love this baby. It's not that she's not trying to take responsibility for this baby. It's simply she's at her limit. And she has a feeling. I'm not Christian. I'm not Catholic. I do not believe in the one true God that the Christians believe in everything. However, my sister is. She isn't as spiritual as she wants to be, but she does believe in this. And she believes that she was given this opportunity to be pregnant when it was really the worst time for her to try to have another kid, to help me and Roger. And, I didn't go, oh yeah, give me your kid. I talked her through it. I was like, Heidi, you have to make sure this is something you want. It doesn't, no matter what you do, this child's going to have a great life. If you keep the child, I'm sure you're going to give it a wonderful life, just like you have my niece and nephew. If you decide to adopt out the baby to me or to someone else, I'm sure that, I'll take care of the baby. That the baby will have a great life with us. The baby will have a great life with someone else. So it's not like I just, hey, I'll take the baby. I want babies, but which I've noticed a few people in my family think I was doing. But because she's in this situation, a lot of people, and I'm not going to point out any names just in case they come across this video later down the line, they will know who they are. Someone extremely close to me and my family made a big issue with me adopting. He didn't believe I should, and it took him a little while to accept this is what both me and my sister have chosen. It was not something he could decide. He's now over it. So that was the main spectrum. One of the main spectrums is that they were thinking I shouldn't be doing this for whatever reason, whether it's because of who my sister is or because they believe I should try for my own first. The other spectrum is everyone thinks I should stop trying to conceive now that I'm adopting. This one I will. Christmas Eve, my mom's family got together like we do every year. My Aunt Patty, 2 of her daughters, and her one of her sons and his girlfriend all came. One of my cousin's little boys came, obviously, with her. My niece, me, my nephew, my sister, my stepdad, my mom, and my mom's roommate, and Roger, of course. So we're all there, and me and my cousin Jenny get into the conversation of me adopting. Because me and my sister had talked about it. We were talking about whether or not we were going to keep the gender a secret, to do a gender reveal or not. So we were talking. Heidi left. Jenny came into the conversation pretty much. Picked up where Heidi left off. She goes, so I'm guessing now you guys aren't going to be trying anymore. And I kind of went, no, we're still trying. And she goes, well, do you realize how hard that will be? And it's like, how hard what will be? And she literally told me, this isn't word for word. I do not have good enough memory to remember word for word what she said Christmas Eve. But she pretty much said, you can't handle 2 kids near the same age. And I was like, of course I can. I mean, in my head I'm sitting there going, people have twins all the time. People have triplets. I mean, there's a woman out there with 8 kids that she birthed all at once. I mean, why can't I take care of 2 who are a few months apart? And then, stupid me, I go, of course I can, and I point to my niece and my nephew, who I do help raise. I had my niece for almost a year on and off, and then 6 months, or 4 or 6 months continuous. I do take, both my niece and my nephew, whenever my sister is having a meltdown, to protect my niece and nephew and to give my sister a cool down. If any of you have or know someone in your family or in your group of friends who is bipolar, you can understand sometimes it's not that they don't love their kids, it's not that they don't love you, it's not that they don't cherish your friendship, whatever. They just need a break from everything. And sometimes the best thing you can do, especially if they have kids, is take the kids for a few hours and just let them be alone for 2-3 hours. And so I do that for my sister. So I'm helping my sister out with raising my niece and nephew. There's no issue there. So I point at, and then, I make gestures to my niece and nephew, going, of course I can take care of 2 children. And she goes, well, they're, 4 years apart. That's completely different. And I'm like, sitting here thinking in my head, her son, I babysat when he was a year old, less than a year old to a year old, with my niece on a daily basis, all except for weekends usually. And even then, I still had my niece with me. And her child was no cakewalk here. He's autistic, which, that happens. He's autistic. We didn't know then. This child was pure baby, pure boy. He would ram into you full force trying to give you a hug, but it would knock the wind out of you. If he didn't want to go to bed and you were holding him trying to put him down to bed, he would literally, this is an experience I had. I was holding him, about to put him in the bed, lay him down like you would a baby, like this, and hold. And he kicked off my stomach, which I already have stomach issues. I was already in pain that day. He kicked off my stomach. I reacted. I flinched back. And normally you grab tighter. However, my reaction isn't to grab tighter. So I didn't grab tight enough onto him so he wouldn't fling backwards. And he kind of pushed and did a backwards leap off of my stomach onto the bed. He didn't hurt himself. He was fine. He was freaking out because he didn't want to go to sleep. But, and I mean, this is daily and every day. No matter how clean you made that room the day before, the next day it'd be completely trashed with 2 toddlers running around it. And I'm sitting here thinking, as she said, you can't, or pretty much saying you can't handle 2 children near the same age. I'm sitting here going, I handled your son and my niece during the toddler years, during the potty training and the having to literally put the food in their mouth for them before they realize that, oh, hey, it's something I like to eat. I don't have to cry and I can just eat it. Okay? By myself. Roger worked, he usually came home either right before my cousin got off work or right after. So and yes, I did get a break because Brody, my cousin's son, always went home. However, I didn't get a full break because my niece was always still there. So I'm sitting there going, how can you tell me I can't take care of 2 stationary infants that are a few months apart when I took care of 2 toddlers who are only a few months apart? And yes, I do realize that's double feeding, that's double diaper changes, that's double attention. I got that, but at least you're not running around chasing after them. And by the time that I get there, I'm going to be set. I'm going to have Brody, I'm going to have Gabby, I'm going to have Jacob. I'll be set. I'll be running after 3 kids. And then now I'm going to have 2 of my own where I can go, sorry, Gabby, I got to watch my own. And she'll be old enough that it's okay. She'll be starting to do her own thing with her friends. And Jacob will be a year older. So, but it's just it shocked me that she had the nerve to say that I shouldn't be trying for my own biological child just because I was adopting. You don't stop wanting a biological child just because you adopt. Adopting doesn't fill a hole. It creates more space, in my opinion. The hole of infertility is still there. The fact that I cannot have a child of my own, as of right now, is still there. All that happened is that my heart realized that it can love so much more. So these are just a few things. I know this wasn't really about infertility, more about what people say that's completely uncalled for with infertility and adoption. But I I could not believe what these people were saying to me. And I'm already running up the minutes, and I tried to break up TTC and adoption vlogs so this wouldn't happen. However, this is just something that I was absolutely mortified that people were actually saying to me, and that I realized that other women are going through the same things, if not worse, and I want to put my 2 cents in it. This shouldn't be a thing. There shouldn't be questions about infertility and adoption and how the two connect. You know, they don't connect, really. Yes, women will adopt because they're infertile, but they're not adopting to replace the fact that they can't have kids. They're adopting because they want kids. And there should be no connection between infertility and age. I mean, I know one of my friends back in middle school was considered infertile. It wasn't because she was trying to have kids. Believe me, she wasn't. She never wanted kids until maybe a year ago, when she got married. But she was infertile because she was only having her period twice a year. You can be infertile and be young. You can be infertile and be 90 years old and, you know, and still get pregnant. I mean, there's nothing that stops you at any age from being fertile or infertile. And I'm sorry, once again, this is almost 30 minutes long. I did not mean to make it that long. I will kind of wrap up here. You guys heard my rant. You can put in your 2 cents. I will be happy to hear it, whether it is on the side of fertility, infertility should not be an issue, or if it's on the side that yes, you believe that fertility and age matter, and infertility and adoption matter together. Just whatever your opinion is, I'd love to hear it. I'm not closed-minded about this. This is just my feelings. So to wrap it up, this is cycle day 13. Since we don't really have anything to go off of for ovulation, I'm just going with what Fertility Friend says, and it says that I should be fertile between 13th and the 16th, with the 16th being the day that I ideally will ovulate. Not meaning it will, but I will probably do 2 updates next week, if by chance I start getting positive OPKs, to kind of go, hey, look guys, maybe we will be in this boat after all. So that's it for this vlog. I do plan on making another vlog very shortly, but this one will be strictly adoption, because we got some news there, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys then.